All right, we're going to call the Finance Committee meeting to order. Present are council members Floyd, Frazier, Cost, Bub, and Marmee. First item on the agenda is a request for appropriation in the amount of $67,900.
Good evening, Mr. Chair. It's been a bittersweet day in the Division of Police. We were able to promote a couple of folks, but that's because we've lost a couple. As we're speaking, Captain Dave Herron is being sworn in as the Chief of Police, so he is separated employment, and Officer Bob Carson is taking a well-deserved retirement. And if you see fit, I'd ask that we expedite those matters, please.
Motion.
Second. Motion by Floyd, second by Bub. Further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Passes 5-0. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is a request for appropriation in the amount of $67,480.96. Workers' comp. Who's speaking on the workers' comp?
I suppose I can.
Okay.
The most recent workers' comp bill came in higher than was anticipated by the city by quite a bit. I think in 2015, the city appropriated $40,000 for workers' comp, and the bill came in at $60,000. So for 2016, I believe $80,000 was appropriated. And the most recent bill came in at $147,500. So therefore, there's a need for an additional appropriation. This will come from the unappropriated balance of the general fund. There is enough in there to cover this.
Okay. Questions? Motion by Floyd. Second. Second by Bub. Further questions or discussion?
Yeah.
Yes.
So we didn't know it was going to be anywhere near this high?
I'd have to let Mr. Buskirk answer that.
Based on your experience until the end of the year and the first part of this year, we got numbers pretty good.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Any further questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Aye. Motion passes 4-1.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is a request for appropriation in the amount of $6,484.25.
Mr. Chair, the Division of Fire gov dealed 2 surplus vehicles as well as a generator from Station 2. We're asking to return those monies back to their accounts. We'd like to use them to outfit the new rescue. And as a courtesy, I'd ask that be waived the second reading, please.
Okay.
Motion.
Motion by Floyd, second by Bub. Questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
passes 5-0. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, let me turn my page here. Okay. Is a request for appropriation in the amount of $2,582.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We had a air conditioner unit stolen from Everett Park, the building that the Civil Air Patrol uses. This is an appropriation for the insurance check that we have received and already deposited. I'll tell you that we have a $1,000 deductible too, and it looks like our friends from the Civil Air Patrol might possibly pay that deductible too towards the new air conditioner.
Motion.
Second. Motion by Floyd, second by Bob. Questions or discussion?
Mr. Chair? Yes. So are we just replacing this air conditioner and putting it back in?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, there was a fence around it, and they had cut through the fence to get to the air conditioner. So when we put this air conditioner back in, we're going to put a beefed up fence around it to try to make it doubly hard to get to it, but that's our intent, yes.
Just want to make sure we don't put it back and just have it stored.
Well, I gotta tell you, that could happen.
Yeah.
No guarantees.
No guarantees, but we're gonna take precautions to prevent it from happening as we did earlier.
Further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? That motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is a request for legislation authorizing and directing the mayor of the city of Newark to submit an application to the Ohio Department of Public Safety Office for the federal fiscal year 2017 Ohio Traffic Safety Grants Program, Selective Traffic Enforcement Program, and the Impaired Driving Enforcement Program.
These two traffic grants pay for the overtime that we need at some key problem areas in the city, which includes the 3 state routes that run through Newark and 21st Street area.
Motion by Bub, second by Floyd. Questions or discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
have we gotten this before, or is this a new grant?
No, we've received it before. In fact, we have one right now. It's
Okay.
based on your fatality rates,
Okay.
whether you're eligible.
Okay, thanks.
And this is like 50%, so even though we're paying some.
No, this is 100% reimbursement for overtime.
Oh,
The
okay.
50% is
I'm
the
sorry.
next one.
The next one, I'm sorry. For the wrong one. Okay, thank you. Further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? That motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Now, the next one is a request for legislation authorizing and directing the mayor of the city of Newark to apply for funding from the United States Department of Justice, Bureau of Justice Assistance under the Bulletproof Vest Partnership Grant Program.
And this is the grant where we front the 100%, get half back. We plan on buying 4 new vests for the Division of Police, and Kevin in adult probation will be purchasing 2 vests. So I like to keep this going because vests only have a certain lifespan, and this helps their budgets quite a bit.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Floyd, second by Bub. Any further questions or discussion? This has been a very good program over the years for us. It's been very
Oh.
helpful.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I know we do it pretty much on a routine basis, and I agree we need to keep it up because, like you said, not only do they only last so long, but each officer has different sizes and things, and as we replace officers, it gets expensive. So I appreciate what you've done for this.
Thank you.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? That motion passes 5-0. Thank you very much, and with that, this committee stands adjourned. Next up is service.
Okay, we'll call the Service Committee meeting to order. Those present are myself, Rath, Bob, Frazier, Floyd, and Cost. Down below. Up first is consider resolution number 16-37, a resolution authorizing and directing the Director of Public Service to enter into an agreement with the Ohio Department of Transportation in carrying out the LIC-Newark SRTS Safe Routes to School project. I assume Mr. Moorhead is going to be speaking on that. So
Sir.
You have the floor, sir.
Thank you. The Safe Routes to School project has been, this has been something we've been working for the last couple of years here. The 2 projects, as I noted in the memo I sent to you, are on West Church Street from 21st to Greenwave Drive. There will be new sidewalks, pedestrian signals, and we've also added curb and gutter, some storm sewer improvements, and pavement resurfacing, which are being done at our expense. But in order to combine on with the rest of the project, we thought that was a good time to do that portion. And then the other portion of the project is the construction of a new pedestrian bridge over the Log Pond Run Diversion Channel over off of Evans Boulevard, which is next to the Legend and Liberty schools. Just north of the driveway that goes into the schools is where the new pedestrian bridge will be.
Okay.
So if there's any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. The original Safe Routes to School grant was for $500,000, and there's a little over about $350,000 left on the grant. And the city's share of the matching funds towards the project is $426,796.88. And ODOT asked that this piece of legislation be returned to them by April 29th. So you will notice that it has the emergency clause on passage at the next meeting.
So our portion of this $426,000 project is about $77,000.
No, our portion is $426,000. The entire project is $775,000, I believe.
Okay.
Bridges don't come cheaply.
Mr. Chairman,
Ms. Floyd?
we'll finish this by the end of this year, as I read
That's
this?
the intent, yes, sir.
That would be great, especially that bridge, because that's been needed for a long time.
Absolutely.
We've been talking about that forever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have been.
Any other questions from committee members?
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
Motion by Bub. Seconded by Frazier. No questions from committee?
I have a question. So this will use that
Mr.
300.
Frazier?
Mr. Chair, thank you. So this will use the $350,000 that we have remaining for the year. So we'll have to reapply for next year for more funds, or how does that work? Framework?
We have another project that we've applied for, which is to install sidewalk along Arlington Avenue from North Cedar Street back to Heritage School. And but the funding for that won't be available until 2018, I believe, through ODOT. So in the meantime, we'll be doing the design work, and if there's any right-of-way acquisition work to make that happen, that'll be going on in the next 2 years here.
Gotcha.
Okay. Any questions from committee members? Any questions from council or members of the audience? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That passes 5-0.
Thank you.
And that concludes the service committee. Up next will be capital improvements.
Call the Capital Improvements Committee together. Members present are Paul, Rath, Roletta, Frazier, and myself, Johnson.
Mr. Chair.
We have agenda resolution appropriating monies for the current expenses of the municipal corporation.
What this is some additional software for the traffic lights for the city. What this software will allow us to do is to receive updates as updates occur to this particular software, and the cost of that's $7,200, so we're proposing we take that out of capital improvements.
Any questions of the?
I do.
Yeah.
Sure.
Go ahead.
So does this change the functionality of the software at all, or is it just an update to make sure it stays current?
It's an update just to make sure it stays current.
What does this exactly do for?
Well, as new software comes out, as new additions come out of traffic control software, we'll be able to, this will allow us to receive those, to download and keep our systems current, so I don't have to come back every 5 years and say, we need to buy new software for our streetlights.
And Mr. Chair, is this software kind of centrally monitoring and controlling the traffic lights, so if there's any changes that you need in traffic patterns, this is where you do it?
Yep.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Rath. Second by Hall. Do you have any questions from the audience? Bill?
After we've done this, as the new software as the updates come. Will there be any kind of charges for those updates?
Yeah,
then?
we will pay a monthly fee that'll be included in next year's budget, not this year's budget. And yes, Bill, it's a good question, and there will be. It's kind of like any other software that has ability, yeah.
Didn't know how far, $70,000.
Yep.
Oh my God.
But this will prevent me from coming back and saying, gosh, guys, we've got a $70,000 or an $80,000 software problem.
Any other questions? Are we ready to vote?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
And that concludes the business.